Hello and welcome to the review of Real Madrid and Alaves match. Going into this match, I was a bit worried because it's pretty obvious, if I take into account our last couple of matches, our last 5 to 6 matches, the form hasn't really been kind to us. It's disappointment, it's frustration, whatever you want to say. So yeah, that's the reason for my worries, and especially if I talk about Alaves, it's one of the bottom grade teams, and these teams do not generally attack against teams like Real Madrid or any top club. They generally defend. They generally do bus parking and all. So whenever we try to attack, there will be like 9 to 10 players inside their box. So it's very hard to score against them, and the majority of our struggles have been against these bottom grade teams. So yeah, the tensions were definitely there, and especially Ancelotti's recent what do I say, recent problems with the team, his squad selection, the squad rotation that was needed but wasn't done, that definitely did cost us a few matches, and that is why I just wasn't sure that how this match is going to turn out. I was just hoping that at least we put up a good performance, because if I take into account our last match, it was an absolute disaster. So yeah, before going into the review, I like to put up some basic stats and all. Trust me, if it were before like 5 to 6 matches, I wouldn't have even cared about putting these stats on, because that was Real Madrid. That was Real Madrid all about. But these matches we haven't been really good, so I just want to make sure that we get into this review with a positive note. So talking about possession, we had 70% possession. Shots, we had 23 shots. That's a very good thing, and even better thing is that 13 of those 23 shots came inside the opposition penalty area. So it's pretty good thing against a low block team. So yeah, there were definitely improvements, and there are also some questions like the performance ratings, or the recent controversies about Ancelotti's squad selection, squad rotation, and all. So we'll talk about that in a bit. First, let's talk about the individual performance. Starting from, actually, I've made some notes during the match, so yeah, I'll be referring to it throughout. So, starting from Thibaut Courtois, there's nothing much to say about him, because he is the one of the top five keepers in the world, without a doubt. And particularly in this match, since these teams are very low block teams, they do not attack as much. So there wasn't much for Courtois to do. But whenever there was a tense situation inside our penalty area, he was there. At least he was there. But yeah, there are some good things that I've noticed in him. He has come so far from what he was like. If I go back 1.5 season back, uh, he was already good. His height and all were definitely a factor that made him a good goalkeeper. But what was bad was he wasn't the best delivery man. He wasn't able to throw quick volleys and all. And also he was not the best on the ball. Like whenever our defenders or anybody passed him, he became like very very unstable with the ball, and if somebody ever pressed him, then it would turn out to be a disaster. The Man City game, for example. So yeah, but taken into account these matches, he has come really so far. Like he is one of the quickest throwers in the world. I can definitely tell that. He's like, he was swinging his hand like this, and the ball was going to Vinicius or to Asensio. So it was wonderful to see that. And also the on the ball ability is perfect. His decision making has improved so good. So I'm just really impressed by him. And nothing to talk about Courtois much, but still a solid performance. Whenever he had to make some saves, he did. So yeah, that's good. Talking about our defense, that's Militao and Alaba. Rock as always. Again, nothing to talk about much. It's pretty damning, the fact, the transition. If you see, like, it has been a really smooth transition from Ramos and Varane. Like nobody ever thought that two completely different players from each other would combine so well and form one of the best defenses in the world. So yeah, it's very noteworthy to see the development of David Alaba and Militao. If I talk about Alaba, he's just the very Ramos-esque player, the leader, what I'd say. quick on the ball, and if anything goes wrong, he's the first one to get there and talk to players and keep the motivation going on. And if I talk about Militao, it's a mixture of both Varane and Pepe. Like, he has the sharpness and he has the pace of Varane. Like, he's definitely one of the fastest defenders in the world, not players. He's definitely one of the fastest defenders in the world. And the aggression of Pepe, like the dedication, the aggression, the mentality, it's all there, and it's pretty rare it's pretty rare to find those kind of traits in a defender. So it's very noteworthy to see that, and they have made a really good combo. So I'm just really happy to see that, and it turned out pretty well in the last game too. Okay, so next we have Carvajal. So Carvajal, I have mixed opinions about him. Like, seeing him defending, I could say that this guy is completely match fit. He was the quickest, not the quickest, but definitely he was one of the quickest. He was one of the fastest players on the pitch. Definitely, he kept the likes of Luis Rioch out of the games that could have been a possible threat to us. But if I talk about his attacking positions, that weren't really so good. Like, his crosses were so terrible last night. Yeah, it was like we were giving the opposition keeper the catching practice. So I really didn't like that. And all in all, his attacking wasn't really good. He wasn't able to combine with the players. Asensio was there, I guess, with him. Yeah, Asensio was there, but he wasn't able to combine with him, nor with any of the players. So in attack, it wasn't really good. But yeah, he did well in the defense. He did what he was asked for. So yeah, it's that. And yeah, and Spanish national team selections are going to come very soon, I guess. So I think Carvajal, if he maintains this kind of fitness, he can be definitely one of the squad players. So yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him there, and it's definitely an improvement from the last game that we played against PSG. Definitely. Next up is Mendy. There's only one word that I have for him. That's poor. Completely disappointment about Mendy. I don't feel like it's totally his fault. It's mostly due to, like, maybe he's not proper match fit. He definitely has that physicality and all, which does help us in defense. If I compare him to Marcelo, like, he's way ahead of that. But if I talk about his offensive prowess, his attacking prowess, it's not there. Prowess in the sense, the mentality and all, the expertise in that area is not there. He's not able to cross the ball. Whenever he goes up front, I feel like he totally blanks out, and he always looks for the players nearest to him and tries to pass the ball there. But his crosses, even if he managed to cross the ball inside, the crosses are very weak, very easy to clear, and never really reaches one of our players. So Mendy is not doing well these days. I think it's most probably due to the fact that he was injured, and he's just come back from injury, and he's not even fully fit right now. So I think it's that. But whatever it be, he needs to solve it as soon as possible. And his combination with Vinicius was also not that good. Like, we have seen in the previous couple of matches, like the last year, that how much they were combining. Their combinations were deadly, and they were really helping us to score a lot of goals, and which is not happening right now, of course. So yeah, the defense was overall very good part. Like, they didn't really have anything to do because of the fact, obviously, because Alaves were sitting back and they weren't really attacking. But it was decent, I would say. Nothing much to talk about there. Obviously, our fullbacks need to work a lot on their attacking abilities and crossing abilities. Next up, we have the midfield, and I feel that where we won the match was in the midfield. Like, it's been the case with Real Madrid, since the couple of season, or if you take the last decade into example, it's all because of our midfield. Everything happens there. It's the core of our team, and if they click, everybody clicks, and we are able to score goals. So starting from Valverde, my personal favorite from last match, he was phenomenal, and just gave another example to Ancelotti, or another sort of proof as to why he needs to start against teams like PSG, who press so hard. so that we can use him to counter press those players, and we can really get some good benefits out of him. So he was phenomenal. He has this great physicality, he has this great stamina, passed really well, a good passer of the ball, of course, and he definitely has the power in his legs to score some bangers. Maybe he was close to a goal, but he put the shot wide, I guess. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, he proved that why he deserves to start against the teams like PSG. Definitely he needs, or he deserves, a start against PSG. I would love to see him there. Second up is Casemiro. Now Casemiro against PSG was not up to his mark. He was more of in a desperate conditions to go on 2-footed to any player he finds, and he also took that yellow card. That was not Casemiro. Casemiro is a guy who can really do all those dirty tasks like winning the half tackles and on in an elegant manner. That is Casemiro. He's not the one who will be like so aggressive in a player who will go 2-footed to any player he finds out there. So it's not Casemiro. And the last match against PSG wasn't his best, but he really improved. A mature performance from him. Like he did what he was asked for, and he played really safe. So yeah, that's very great. And next up is our GOAT, Modric. Now, Modric, there's really nothing, absolutely nothing to talk about. Luka Modric, he was authoritative. He obviously ran the show in the match, and in that particular match, he did the job of two players. First was his own self, of course, the box to box running and all, helping both the attackers and the defenders, while at the same time, being the Toni Kroos of the match, like pinging long balls and all. So yeah, it's just perfect. There's nothing to talk about Modric, and it's just another lesson for Carlo Ancelotti that you need to give freedom to players like Modric to counter press players, or tackle the pressing system of opponent teams if it's the team like PSG. So yeah, we definitely need players like Modric in our team who can run the show in the central park and give us that hold, so we can be like confident enough to score a lot of goals. Next up, let's go to our attack. And attack was a really topsy-turvy type of thing because at first they weren't really clicking. So starting from Asensio, obviously a topsy-turvy performance. He had a really good off-the-ball moment, I'm not gonna lie. His tracking back runs were really great, and he really made some darting runs forward in the penalty area. So that was really good to see. But on the same side, he also made some terrible mistakes. One was a really poor one, which gave the opponents a one-on-one chance against Courtois. Thankfully, they missed, and it was just minutes or seconds before he scored that really wonderful goal. So yeah, that's Asensio. I mean, he's been like that the whole season. He'll nowhere be seen in the pitch, and all of a sudden the shot comes in and it goes in the goal, and that was a really angry celebration. Like, he was definitely frustrated. The crowds are whistling to him, and don't blame the crowd, because the team's performance was really great, and much of the whistle was for Carlo Ancelotti rather for the players. So I don't think there was a need for that aggressive celebration, but whatever it is, we got the goal, and that is everything that matters to me and to every Real Madrid fan and the team as well. So yeah, that's Asensio. He has scored 9 goals this season, which is pretty impressive. He was going through a downfall after that 17-18 season, but yeah, he scored 9 goals, and I think he should also be selected for the Spanish national team. Like, Enrique had to say that he hasn't really been playing. He hasn't been getting that play time, which was the reason that he wasn't being selected. But I feel that he's one of the regular starters. I believe that he's starting every other match, and he's playing well too. He can score some really good goals. So yeah, there's no reason to keep him out. I think he should be selected for the Spanish national team. So yeah, let's see. Next up is Vinicius. Now, again, just one word: disappointing. Like, again, it's not his fault. I completely understand it's not his fault. His mentality is just not right at the moment. He's definitely tired. If not physically, then surely mentally he's tired. There's something wrong with him. In the starting of the game, in the beginning of the game, he wasn't able to control the ball. He lost possession very quickly. Like, if I show you one stat, we lost the possession in total 131 times, So it was like Fede was winning the ball and Vini was losing it. Yeah, it was just like that. So yeah, and his control was really poor. And his decision making has been affected by that sort of, that sort of dip in the form. He hasn't been really that well, although he scored a goal. That was a really good goal, a team goal, and that may just give him the bit of confidence that he needs to be the player that he has been throughout the season. So yeah, Vini, I think he just needs a rest, but I don't think under Carlo Ancelotti that's going to happen. It's very similar to what happened to Pedri the last season in Barcelona. He was overexhausted, but he still performed better than Vinicius. He was still consistent, though he suffered injuries the next season. So we'll see what happens, but I personally wish that he needs that sort of rest to, calm everything down and, put him back where he has started. So yeah, let's see what happens. Next up, we have Benzema. Now, again, a very on and off performance from him. Obviously, he did, give us moments and all, but according to his standards that he has been in the recent seasons, it wasn't really good. Like he missed a couple of sitters and wasn't really that much involved in the attack. So I don't know what's wrong with him. It's most probably the injury once again, but yeah, whatever it is, he needs to solve it and he needs to come back stronger against PSG. Obviously, he converted a penalty, so it's definitely a confident booster for him. And let's see what happens. Now, the problem with Benzema is it's not Benzema actually. It's our formation mostly. I don't know what happens because we play a 4-3-3 formation, but it's the case with Real Madrid and quite a very few number of teams that the striker needs to draw back in order to connect the attack with the midfield. It generally doesn't happen because I have seen Chelsea play, I've seen Liverpool play. They all play 4-3-3 formation most of the times, and they do not require that much amount of striker dropping back kind of a thing. So I don't know what's really into our team, but whatever it is, I really don't understand why it's happening, because whenever he doesn't drop or he stays at the front, tries to score that goal, tries to score headers and all, our team lacks that sort of connection between the midfield and the attack. So I don't really know what's with this formation, but whatever it is, that's the reason Jovic isn't able to play, because he's not the sort of player that that will drop back and connect midfield with attack. He's the proper poacher that we have. He'll stay in the box, he'll wait for crosses and all. We have to feed him and he'll score some headers and all maybe. So yeah, that's the reason he isn't able to perform at that level that he was supposed to be when he arrived at Madrid. So yeah, but all in all, this game was a really dominant one, a proper Madrid-esque game, what I'd say. So yeah, I'm impressed with it. At the same time, I'm not impressed with it. If I talk about the first half and all, it wasn't really good. So yeah, it was a topsy-turvy match, but a win is what it matters to me right now, because we really need those points to be on the top, because there was a time when we were 10 points ahead of the second team, but right now it's not the case. We have to fight, we have to keep fighting, and we have to win all the matches so that nobody can catch us and La Liga title is at least safe. I don't know what's going to happen in the UCL, but La Liga should be safe and we should be able to win it, because we deserve it for the football that we have played throughout the season. So yeah, that's that. And lastly, talking about Ancelotti's rotation. Now, that's a very controversial topic that's going on these days. It's a very hot topic right now. So in this match particularly, not until the 82nd minute, he made the substitution. He just waited. And this was the thing that most probably, did cost us the CDR tie against Athletic Bilbao, because he was assuming that we'll go into extra time and then he'll bring on Hazard, Jovic and all, but unfortunately we didn't go, and they scored in the 89th minute and we were out of the CDR tie. So yeah, again in this match he waited a lot. He waited until the 82nd minute. That's why I haven't talked about any of the substitutions, because those 8-10 minutes doesn't really give you the judgment that you need to present your opinions for a player. So which is why I haven't really talked about them, but they might be good. I really didn't notice anything special from any of the substitute. But okay, if they have performed what they were asked for, it's pretty good. Okay, there were clearly some problems, not some, but there were clearly many problems in our team. There was no connection until the second half, I believe. So yeah, he should have made substitutions very early on, like 46th or 47th minute, but uh, he just doesn't really do. And it's very similar, or it's kind of resembling the season we had in the 14-15 season, when we started off really well, but then injuries kicked in, our form started to dip, and Ancelotti just wasn't really rotating the players, and that's the reason that we are having that many injuries. We had Ramos, Pepe, everybody injured at a moment. So yeah, and I've also analyzed his managerial career after Real Madrid, whether it be Bayern Munich, whether it be Napoli, or whether it be Everton to be latest. He is not the man to rotate the squad very often. Like he barely rotates the squad, and that's why he hasn't been able to reach the level that he was always meant to be. He was always supposed to be. Still, he has three Champions League and all, but I think he has much more potential. If he starts rotating a bit more, maybe something good would happen out of it. But at this point of time, it's not even the match fitness we are talking about. It's mere intentions, and or maybe the trust issues. So yeah, that's how I feel about the other players. And I don't really think it's gonna change until the very end of the season. If he's sacked, then maybe we'll see something out of the other players. But until then, it's not gonna happen, I believe. And whatever it is, he's providing at least something to us. He's giving us the victories. At least after the 2021 disaster, we are really doing something great, and we are proving that why we deserve to be at the top of the football competition. So that's all from my side. That's my analysis. That's my opinions. Whatever you wanna say, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time with me, and thank you.